So this lesson is on solving systems of equations. And we did it before on Desmos, but the Desmos on your EOC is not quite like the Desmos that you get online. So we're going to go through how to do it on the graphing calculator, just to make sure you can definitely solve a systems of equations on your EOC. So make sure you have a calculator, and let's go through this. You are going to press y equals. And you're going to type in the two equations. So my first one is 3x plus 5. I'm going to go down. My next one is negative x plus 1. And you're going to hit graph. Now, right there where they cross, that is my answer. So let me show you how to get that on your calculator. You're going to press second and then trace. Do this with me, y'all. Second, trace. We want their intersection, which is right here. It's number 5. So we're going to go down to number 5 and hit enter. And then the first curve says this is the first line. This means that's the second line. Keep hitting enter. Then it says, do you want me to take a guess? Well, yeah, we do. So hit enter. And so the answer is negative 1, 2. So you would pick D if this was the question. Okay? Let's do another one because I know it's a bunch of buttons to press. Okay, this question says which screen could be the solution. So again, we want to go to y equals. We're going to clear these out. And let's type in the two equations. Negative 0.5x plus 4 and 2x plus 1. And let's graph. All right, that first line, so look at my intersection. It's over here in the first quadrant, so it's not A, it is not D or E, so it's between B and C. Which one's the better answer between B and C? Looks like B matches closer than C does, so for this one you would put B. Again, I want to walk you through the steps of finding the answer if you wanted to find it. You would push second, trace. Go down to intersection, hit enter, and then hit enter 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. And your intersection, the answer would be 1.2 and 3.4. Okay, let's do another one. The more you practice these buttons, the better you're going to be. So let's type these in. 3x plus 7 is my first one. And x minus 9. My next one, we're going to hit graph. There's my first line. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad I put this one on here. So, you cannot see the intersection here. You can't see it. It's down here somewhere. So we're going to have to zoom out. So you're going to hit zoom. It's right here in the middle, up top. You're going to zoom out. That's number 3. Hit enter, and hit enter one more time. There's your first line. Okay, now I can see where they cross, right? They cross right there. So let's push our button. Second, trace. We want the intersection and hit enter 3 more times. 1, 2, well, I got it, 3. So negative 8, negative 17. So my answer for this one would be D. All right, let's go through what it's going to look like when there's no solution, what it's going to look like when there is a solution, etc., etc. So here we go. Let's do this first one, 5x minus 4 and 5x minus 5. 5x minus 4 and 5x minus 5. So we're going to graph it. All right, I'm going to go back to my normal screen. So if you hit zoom and go down to number 6, standard. Standard means normal. So we're going to hit enter. All right, so these are pretty close together, but they're not the same line. Let me zoom in a little bit more so that you can see exactly what these are going to look like. Let's zoom in. There's one. There's another one. So those are actually parallel lines. Are parallel lines ever going to cross? No, they're not. So if they're parallel, that means there are no solutions. And again, the way you know they're parallel is if the slopes are the same. So both of my slopes were 5, and these last numbers were different. So that means they are parallel. And parallel has no solutions. Okay, let's try this one down here. So let's go to y equals. 2x minus 3, and negative x plus 3. I'm going to zoom back to normal, so zoom 6. Alright, these do cross. If they cross, that means there is one answer, and my one answer would be 2, 1. But there is one solution. If they cross, there is one answer. Alright, look at this example. Well, my top one is solved, but my bottom one is not. Right? Y is not by itself. So this is why we've spent all these weeks practicing solving for y. Because if you can't solve for y, you cannot find this answer. So I need to move this 2 over. And the way I move that 2 is by doing plus 2 on both sides. Now, I can't add these because that's an x and that's not. So I'm just going to put 3x plus 2. So let's go to y equals. Let's clear these out. This first one was 3x plus 2. This bottom one is 3x plus 2. Now, do you notice something about those two equations? Hopefully you can see they're exactly the same. So when we graph them, they're going to be the exact same line. So if they are exactly the same, that means there are infinitely many solutions. So parallel, there's no solutions. If they're the same line, then it's infinite solutions. Okay, so let's look at this one. The bottom one is solved. I could go ahead and type that in my calculator. This top one is not solved, right? I need to get y by itself. So what's with the y? The 3. How do I move the 3? I divide by 3. Everything. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. So I got y equals, let's do this in my calculator because again, I want to make sure you're good at doing fractions and division. If you have a fraction, we put it in parentheses. So I'm doing this right here, negative 1/2, and we're dividing it by 3. Let's turn that to a fraction. Math, enter, enter. So we get negative 1/6 x, and then let's do 2 divided by 3. Change it to a fraction. We get positive 2/3. So let's go to our calculator again. Y equals, we're going to type these in. So I got negative 1/6 x plus 2/3. And my other one is negative x plus 9. Let's graph it. All right, I can sort of see where they cross. Let's see if it'll do it. Second trace, go down to intersection, hit enter. All right, and it did it. So my intersection is at 10, negative 1. So I would pick C as my answer. All right, these, neither one is in y equals. So that means I have to solve both of them. So first up, I would move my 10x by doing a plus 10x. I would bring down a negative 3y. And over here I have 10x minus 18. To move that negative 3, we would divide everything by negative 3. So, if you don't know this, I'd grab your calculators, but we would end up getting negative 10/3 x minus 6. All right, let's solve the other one. So again, first up, I'd move my 7x by adding it. Bring down negative 8y. And I got a positive 7x and a positive 11. Divide by negative 8. So, negative 7/8 x plus 11/8. Okay, let's go to our calculator and type that in. Negative 10/3 x minus 6. Negative 7/8 x plus 11/8. Let's graph it, see if we can see our intersection. Okay, we can, so let's find it. Second trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. And it's at negative 3, 4. So I would pick none of these answers. That's strange. I pulled this off of a test. Yeah, but the answer would be negative 3, 4. Okay? Determine if this point is a solution. Well, to do that, again, we just go to y equals. You would have to solve it for y. I'm going to go ahead and solve it for y in my head, just to save some time. So the first one would be x minus 4. And the second one would be negative 2x plus 5. So let's graph it and see if that 4, negative 3 is a solution. Go to intersection, enter, enter, enter. And is 4, negative 3 the solution? No. The solution is 3, negative 1. So for this one, you would put, no, it is not a solution. Okay, and then you're going to have some word problems. So let's read through these. Gabrielle makes and sells wind chimes out of her home. She had $300 in startup costs, and it costs $15 to produce a wind chime. She sells the wind chimes for $30 each. Which system of equations can she use to find a break-even point? So let's figure out what she's spending right now. So she spent $300 for startup costs. She spent $300. And so we're going to add $15 for each wind chime. That's what she's selling. I mean, that's what she's spending. So it could be A. We're not looking at B because that's a minus. It could be C. It could be D. It's not going to be E. Okay, and then my other equation, she makes $30 for each one. So I'm going to put $30 for each one. So that answer is going to be C. C is the one that's going to work. Okay, let's look at this one. Beth bought 15 tickets to a movie where adult tickets cost $6 and senior citizens cost $4. Total, she spent $76. So I always like to make a money equation first. So it's $6 for adults and $4 for senior citizens. And total, she spent $76. Okay, that's my money equation. So it's not A. Could be B. It's not going to be C. They got the A and the S backwards. It's not going to be D. And it could, nope, it's not going to be E because it says equals 15. So B is my answer. Okay, the money one. They love money ones. I would not be surprised if you saw this on your EOC. So total nickels and dimes, there were 60 coins. So nickels and dimes, there were 60 coins. That's right. This one's not. Nickels and dimes, there were 60 coins. This is not right. And then total, there was $4.45. So what we need to figure out is, do we write a nickel is worth 0.05 or is a nickel worth 5? And if it's coins, if it's change, it's going to be a decimal. So A is the best answer here. Okay. And then you're going to have questions like this. Which system of equations has no solution? If you remember, no solution means that they are parallel. Okay. Parallel means the same slope. So let's look at these slopes. Are they the same? No. So that's not parallel. This one, we are not solved for y. To solve for y, we got to divide by 2. So I get y equals negative 3x minus 2. Let's look at our slopes. Slope here is negative 3, slope here is negative 3. Are those parallel? Yes. That's the one that has no solution. Let me go through and show you why the other ones don't work. Here I would divide by 2 everywhere. And I would get y equals 3x plus 2. Here I would move my 3x by adding it. So I would get y equals 3x plus 2. Those are the exact same line. If they're the exact same line, that means infinite. Let's do D. I would add my 2x. So here we would bring down a negative 1y, and I'd get a 2x minus 4. We divide by negative 1, and I get a negative 2x minus, nope, plus 4. So here are my slopes -2. Here's my slopes -3. Nope, those are not the same. And then here I'd move my 2x, so I'd get -1y equals 2x plus 4. And I divide by -1 and get -2x minus 4. And again, my slopes are 3 and -2. They're not the same. So C is the one that has no solution. So if you will go try that EOC 6 practice and let me know if you need help.